Welcome to Spoken Like a True Goddess podcast, a space curated for goddesses worldwide. The woman who's strong on the inside, which affords her to be soft, warm, and alluring on the outside. The woman who uses power sourced from above to create the life she wants because she's capable and deserving. So relax, open your minds and your hearts, and let's have some much needed girl talk. I'm your host, Shekinah, and this is Spoken Like a True Goddess podcast. Hey y'all, welcome to Spoken Like a True Goddess and Merry Christmas. This episode is dropping on Christmas Day, and I hope you're having a beautiful holiday with so much love and joy. I know this time of year can be reflective and bring up some emotions, but I hope that everyone can find something to be grateful for. I know a lot of you may not be listening to this on the release day, but as we're heading into the new year, I wanted to share with you all 6 practical practices you can implement throughout the year to ensure you're the woman of your dreams by this time next year. I'm a very reflective and introspective person, so I always try to simplify my goals. I always try to make it very simple. And I think I did a really great job of that this year, and I've seen a lot of growth for myself. And I just want to share with you how you can do the same thing in a simple way. I know sometimes when the new year comes, we're so excited and we make all these big goals, and before March, we're back to our old habits. So I'm going to give you some practical ways to achieve your goals and some hacks so you can stay consistent and actually level up in 2025. So let's get into it. The first way is to let go and make a decision to forgive. I know forgiveness can be hard. I know that better than anyone. But honestly, not forgiving, it just holds you back. It weighs you down, and you're just walking around with all this baggage. And honestly, the person who offended you really doesn't care. And you will be surprised the lengths that people go to so they could sleep at night and look at themselves in the mirror. The lies they'll tell themselves, and you're over here carrying all that baggage and hurt and anger, and they're up here lying to themselves so they can move on with their life. So honestly, the first step is to let it go. Just make a decision. No matter how hurt you are, no matter what happened, how you feel about it, just decide, I'm going to let it go. I'm not going to let it affect me anymore. I'm making that decision to let it go. And that way you could be free and illuminated. You don't have to be tied down to a ball and chain. You can just be free and move on and do what you want to do. Okay? So that's the first point is, and I know it's hard. I'm not saying that forgiveness is easy, but the first step is just to make the decision to let it go. And then you could, along the way, have different practices and ways to manage your emotions when those feelings come up. But let it go. Anything that happened in 2024 or beyond, let it go. You know, you got offended in 1996 and it's 2024 and you're still talking about what your parents did with this part. Let it go. It's holding you back. You got things to do. Let it go. The second way is to create healthy habits. What I mean by this is look at your daily habits and see how you can replace them with healthier things. Is that eating better, eating foods that actually nourish your body, moving your body, exercising, dancing. I love to dance. Dancing is really important because we hold a lot of energy, like we as women, we hold a lot of energy in our wombs. So like our sacral chakra, and a lot of energy can get trapped there. Our sacral chakra is for creativity, sexuality, sensuality. So when you're not moving your body, moving your waist, you can have a lot of trapped energy there, and it can manifest as anxiousness, depression, moodiness. So I encourage you to move your body, get in that mirror, dirty wine, twerk, girl, put on a video of Shakira and dance with her, but really move your waist, move your body. It's such a good release. It gets you in touch with your femininity, your sensuality. It's a really good practice. Manage your stress, see your doctor, get your blood work done, go to the dentist, take your vitamins, make sure you're staying hydrated. And what I really like about the blood work is you can see what you're deficient in. A lot of Black women, we're deficient in vitamin D and we're deficient in iron. So we may feel sluggish or low energy and tired, where it's really just a vitamin deficiency, which is an easy fix, right? And you'll feel so much better. So, really get to know yourself and do nice things for yourself. A big thing I would suggest is limit your drinking, alcohol, any bad habits. If you smoke, and I know people who like to smoke, whenever someone tells them to cut down on smoking, they want to tussle. But I'm being serious. Anything like that, any of those negative vices, cut back on it. I really limited my drinking. The last couple of years, actually, I was put in a situation where I'm like, girl, you need to slow down. You need to limit your drinking. This was probably in 2022. And I remember I had went out one evening, and the last thing I remember, I was dancing, dropping it like it's hot. The next thing I know, I'm waking up next to this very ugly man. I mean, the man, he was my boyfriend, but I'm just saying he was very ugly. And I didn't remember from the club to the next morning. And I'm like, this is just, I don't know, like I'm getting too old for this. This is just crazy. You know, even when I go out to dinner, it's like you don't have to have a cocktail every time you go out. When you come home, you don't have to have a glass of wine. A good supplement are these drinks called recess. And honestly, it really relaxes you. But honestly, just implement better habits, especially as we're getting older. Alcohol is really terrible for the body. And since it's so normal and popular, we don't talk about that enough. But it's honestly, it's so terrible for your cardiovascular health, for your skin. And as we're getting older, we want to fuel our body as much as possible. And that's why if you notice how you used to drink when you were in your 20s versus now, like you go out for a night of drinking now and the whole next day you're tore up, but in your 20s, you could drink all night and wake up at 7 and go work all day. Yeah, our bodies react differently. So we need to be more mindful on just replenishing and fueling our bodies and our cells versus tearing them down for no reason. And I'm not saying don't ever drink or don't ever smoke or whichever, but just be mindful of creating those healthier habits. My third point is keep your legs closed to dangerous men. Okay? Now listen. I am an advocate for celibacy and just being a stronger gatekeeper of your feminine energy. Okay? Not spreading it out, not letting everybody in, because it does drain you. And that transfer of energy with just men who are not worthy, men who spirits aren't clean, it does a lot on us as women. So keep your energy, be in control of your own energy and your peace. And I'm not saying don't ever sleep with men, It's your own body. You could do what you want to do, but I'm saying hold off and see if you really even like him that much to let him into your orbit and into your space. I totally changed the way I went about dating, and it has done wonders. Now, I will say, before I changed the way I went about dating, I had a lot more options than I do now that I have a stricter way of dating. But I have much better experiences. And I think it's because I just slowed down my dating process. And also, I'm more in control. Like, I'm not just following these men to hell. You're not going to just come into my life very fast, like the Tasmanian devil, and then just leave and I'm here picking up the pieces. No, I take a little bit more control on the dating process, if that makes sense. And it's been more enjoyable. One of the big things for me is I get easily blinded by money and material things, and that new relationship thing when guys they come in really fast and they courting you with all these. I get blinded by it. I'm not really seeing the men for who they are. I'm just excited for these things, which anyone would be excited if someone comes and they're buying you nice gifts, they're helping you with your bills, they're doing. Anybody would be excited by that. But what I notice is that I'm not really getting to know the person. And sometimes men use that as a way to not really open themselves up emotionally to you, right? They know exactly what they're doing. They're using it as a way to guard that part of them so they can have their way with you with putting in minimum emotional labor, right? So what I did is I took money, material things off the table. And for the first dates and things of that nature, I wanted more simple things so I get to know you. The first date, I want to know you. I want to talk. I want to talk to you. I want to see if what we're looking for is aligned. That doesn't excite me anymore. Just going out for the heck of it. No, at this point in my life, I'm looking for partnership, for friendship, for someone to build a life with. I'm not Disneyland. You can't come, spend some money, have your way, have a great time, and leave. No, I'm not an amusement park. I am a woman. And I just feel like me taking a little bit more control and minimizing those flashy things so early on really helped me in my vetting process. Because I have this process now, I'm not meeting so many men, but the men I meet now are of better quality and just more aligned with what I want. I'm not going on dates with men who are only looking to just sleep with women and discard of them when they're done. Like, I'm dating men who are also looking for wives and more committed situations. So, celibacy, cleaning up your dating process, being stricter on your dating process, it does wonders for your mental health. I haven't had a disappointment that took me out this year. I haven't been in a situation where I felt so disappointed by a man where it's like, oh, he came in my life, just made all these promises, and then when it was time to show, I haven't had that because I changed up my process. So it's even much better for my mental health. So that would be the third way. The fourth way is to minimize the distractions in your life. Distractions are tricky because we don't know that they're distractions, right? We're just living our lives and we're not understanding how much time they're taking from us. So I would suggest to spend your time in ways that feeds you and fuel you. Not too much aimless scrolling online and going out all the time, just spending frivolous money and just these things that distract you basically from actually feeling what you're feeling or doing what you need to do. So, to minimize those distractions, do things that have a good return. Everything you do should be more intentional. It shouldn't just be waking up every day just going with the wind. Like, no, I'm learning a new language or I'm reading books that fuel my mind, or like it should be for a reason. Feed your mind, feed your soul, grow your spiritual life. Wake up 20 minutes before you usually wake up and pray and sit there and listen. Just do things that have a high return. So, investing in your body, investing in your mental health, investing in your spirituality, those will give you a great return. But if you're not being mindful of things and you're just going with the flow, goes with what feels good today, you'll be distracted. And by the end of the year, you'll see you haven't really gotten to that point where you can say, hey, I'm the woman of my dreams. I'm really happy with what I've done, because you didn't have a plan. You're kind of just going with the flow. So minimize your distractions. Basically, just be intentional with the things that you're doing. The fifth way is to create an abundance and prosperity mindset. To be the woman of your dreams, you're going to have some money, okay? But not in the way that you think. Like, I don't really like talking about money because money is a byproduct of many other things, right? I don't think of money in the way that some people do. I don't suggest working hard for money, right? Oh, just like grinding it out and like, okay, I got to get 2, 3 jobs and a side hustle. And yeah, that's how I'm going to make more money. That usually doesn't give you the result that you think it would. But when you focus on abundance, on prosperity, when you know that money is attracted to you, you don't let money run you, you run money, right? So you don't have to go and grind it out and just work from this scarcity mindset. But you can change your mindset to that of prosperity and abundance, and things will flow to you in a much easier and enjoyable way. I figure out ways to make the most money with the least effort, and legal, of course, morally and legally, of course. So this year, think about ways that you can make the most money with the least physical output, if that makes sense. Find high earning skills that you can learn that's going to yield you a great investment, but not going to take so much physical and like grind from you. I believe in work ethic. I believe in being disciplined and getting things done, but I don't believe in grinding and overexerting yourself for money. Because if you do it the right way, you'll never be without. You'll always have more. And there's different principles when it comes to abundance and prosperity. And you can't like hoard. Like you can't have that just grind and, oh, I got to get it mindset, if that makes sense. You have to think of money as a tool, right? It's just a tool. That's it. It's just numbers. It replenishes. It's not something you have to hoard and work hard for and do crazy things for and just make the center of your life. No, it's okay. Money flows to you easily and effortlessly when you upgrade your mindset. You'll never be without. I suggest building an abundant and prosperity mindset. And I'm going to talk about this a lot on here because I have really mastered like abundance and prosperity. And It was not overnight. This has been maybe 10 years. Yeah, I think I started my journey to understand abundance and prosperity in 2014. So it's been a very long time, but there were some cool tricks and hacks that I did to really upgrade my mind. And I'll share that. I want to really get into that. So I'll share that on a different episode. But you really have to get your money and your mindset together if you want to be the woman of your dreams, because women, we're not designed to grind like that. We need rest. We need to replenish ourselves. We are powerful and we can make a lot of money, but if we do it in the way that's advertised to us or the way that people speak about in society, we'll burn out and we won't be able to have it all. But there's a way that you can have it all. There's a way that you could be in your femininity. There's a way that you could be in rest and in flow and have everything that you need. So, yeah, we'll talk about that more later, but that is also a very important way to be the woman of your dreams and not a burnt out woman, not a stressed woman, not a dysregulated woman, but a woman totally in her feminine energy that has everything she needs. The sixth and final way to be the woman of your dreams in 2025 is discipline. Now, I know discipline sounds like a scary word, but honestly, discipline is hard at first when you're trying to get into that flow, but discipline is the only way to have true freedom. So if you take that time and you be uncomfortable and you push yourself to be disciplined initially, the reward is so beautiful. Eventually, it won't even feel like discipline. It's just your normal habit. To be disciplined, you have to keep a promise to yourself. That's basically what it is. We all know how terrible it feels when someone breaks a promise to us. So you don't want to do that to yourself. You make a promise and you start off small. If you make such a huge goal, like your usual habit is quick food, you could just go and get something quickly to eat. It doesn't take any preparation to have a disciplined diet, like, okay, vegan or pescatarian or anything like that. It takes a lot of preparation. So you have to give yourself time to do that so you won't set yourself up for failure. So a better goal would be, hey, if I'm a person who eats fast food a couple days a week, my first goal would be I'm not going to eat fast food. Like I'm only going to make my own food. So even if you make a cheeseburger at home, at least you're making it at home and you're getting into that habit of cooking and preparing your own food. When I go to work, I'm not gonna, go and get something quick and easy. I've brought my lunch. You're creating this habit that you didn't have before. And that's great. To go from eating fast food to not eating fast food, that's a great discipline. That is great. So then from there, you could create another discipline. Okay, great. I have it under control of being able to prepare my own meals. Now I'm going to cut out red meat. Okay, cool. And then from there, you keep on adding little goals and little disciplines till you could get to exactly where you want to be. But sometimes we make this big promise to ourselves. I'm not going to eat anything that comes from an animal, make this huge promise to ourselves. And then it's hard to sustain it and we feel terrible. Like, oh crap. Like, okay, fine. I'm just not going to do it at all. No, make smaller disciplines. Whatever your big goal is, break it into smaller disciplines and then build on that. When it comes to creating the disciplines, you have to give yourself grace to make mistakes, right? But You don't have to live there. For example, if you say, I'm not going to eat sugar, and then let's say one meal you have sugar, you don't have to just like, oh, F it, I messed up, so I'm just going to eat sugar all the time. No, just the next meal don't have sugar or start over the next day. I know sometimes we do that too, where we start off with a lot of excitement at the beginning of the year and then it starts wearing off a little bit. Then we're like, okay, yeah, forget it. Well, it's like, no, even if you have a bad week, you can always start over the next week. Being disciplined, you have to also give yourself grace to be human and to make mistakes and to mess up. But the thing is to always get back on track. Even if you have a bad month, okay, a whole month you was eating Kit Kats and stuff, it's okay. The next month you can just not. That's the biggest thing with discipline. Sometimes we're a little ambitious with our disciplines, but when you start to be disciplined, then you'll be able to build on it. But if you live a life that's not very disciplined in that area of like diet or exercise, you have to give yourself grace. Yes, keep a promise to yourself, but give yourself grace and just don't give up. Okay, if you messed up today, just start again tomorrow. But don't just say, oh, forget it. It's January 15th and you messed up and you're like, okay, next year I'm going. No, just give yourself some time and try again. Just keep trying. That's all I have for today, guys. I hope that this was helpful to you. I hope that you can implement some of these things in your life to become the best version of yourself, become the woman of your dreams, because you are worth it. It is attainable, and it's time to start now. God bless you, and we'll talk next time. Bye. That's all for today's podcast. I hope you enjoyed. If you love Spoken Like a True Goddess podcast, leave a rating and a review on the podcast app that you're tuning in on. I would love to hear from you. Be sure to follow us on all socials at Spoken Like a True Goddess. Also, if you would like sisterly advice from me, email your questions to sltgadvice@gmail.com. It will be answered on the pod with love and discretion, of course. Well, I'm excited for our next Girl Talk. Talk soon. Bye.